Okay. So new year, happy new year to everyone. I know we wish, but this is like on call, first call where we have you can talk in between. It's okay. This recording is not like for public, so it's okay to talk in between, just in case if you if you have anything to ask, anything major. Okay. Right. So as usual, we'll start with a BTC. What a move, right? I'm starting at the 1 day time frame. Maybe I can have a quick look at 12 hours, but nothing much. Yeah, 12 hours. So quick recap on this one. This drop was FTX based. Okay. This was FTX based. And then there were a couple of hits at the risk level, and then few hits on the warning level. But then even when it was here, I mentioned that follow the key levels, not let the emotion drive you. And that has been my statement throughout. Because when you have technical analysis in hand, either you trust fully or not, because if you are in between, then it creates confusion. And if you're in between, you cannot have a process in place. I'm not saying you have to follow it. What I'm saying is if you follow fully. If you don't want to follow, don't do partially. That's the thing. So it's not about following it. It's about doing fully, because then you get clarity. The emotions have no place, and social media was full of fear and for all side of all sort of rumors, and it wasn't easy, I'm sure. But the technical analysis provides us a vision which any other method doesn't. Many people talk about fundamentals and other, but technical analysis has been it's not about my TA, it's about anyone's TA who is able to do accurately. So I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking about TAs, technical analysis. It's always a proven tool. People don't realize, because maybe because not many of the TA are accurate enough. So that can be a case, because when I was in India, nobody knows about TA. I mean, in my circle, and then I had to explain what TA is, because this is the first time I went to India after quitting my job. So when people ask, okay, what do you do? I said, I do business. When they are, what kind of business? I said, I analyze cryptocurrency. Most of the people stop there, because first of all, they don't understand what I'm talking about. And even somebody is interested in crypto, what kind of analysis then they ask about? Then I talk about TA, and again they stuck there because they have no idea. So the whole science, like crypto itself, is not known to many, and doing TA and figuring out price is unbelievable for them. They never heard of it. So I feel that actually one way it's good. I mean, first, when you hear that, just imagine you tell something and they don't understand, you feel that, oh, how do I explain that? Any kind of business is so easy to understand, and this is not understood. But in a way, I find it very interesting, and actually, because that means that there is huge scope in this field in terms of business, in terms of spreading knowledge and all, because there are not many people. So that's the good part of it. So I'm looking for someone in India for sure who would like to run a business, and I can be a partner. So that's what I'm thinking. So if any one of you interested, let me know. Okay, we'll talk about it. Right. So you have been, I mean, you are getting updates, timely updates. So I believe that at least there is no ambiguity in terms of the direction, right? Every few hours you cannot judge, that's for sure. Then that's too much. What you have to understand is on a weekly trend, or at least 3 days, what is really happening. The focus is, of course, the direction and the key levels, and especially the weightage is more on the BTC because that's the driver. Okay, so I'll explain you further, but let me give a quick update that this coin BTC is likely to go down from here. Okay, go down, it doesn't mean it will erase everything, and we cannot say this at this moment, but this is the top. Okay, now there are simple two approaches. One can exit and then enter about the recent high, or you put a stop loss and then make sure that, and stop loss is very individual choice, right? I cannot tell. So there's no suggestion, but these are two approaches, right? Mm, yeah, but one thing is for probability wise that I think this is the heavy resistance zone, and this resistance zone was given when it was here roughly around 19,800 yesterday before the, and now it has hit the upper level, and this is the range. So what we are seeing here is it has recovered fully from the FTX drop that I was talking about earlier. So this is fully recovered. Now the question comes about what it wants to do, right? Very interesting thing. So many people are asking about the bottom, and I just tweeted that the bottom is not that you can say when it hits the support that this is the bottom. This is a matter of education. Once we educate ourselves, it's so easy to understand how things move, how things work. And so it's not about the ultimate outcome that you have to understand the process. And the process is like black shade to the white shade. So if the black shade is bearish side and the white shade is let's say on a bullish side, it's a transition from black to white where you go through the gray shades in between. Let me mute you. Oops. I'm muting everyone at this moment. Okay. Yeah. So from darker shade or black shade to the white shade, it's a transition. Okay, and this transition is slow, and there are certain levels to be tracked. So now if you look at the bottom most is the dark level, dark side, and the higher one is the bright side. Now we are transitioning from there. Now at this stage, so that's number one thing. So what our focus would be to see the continuation of this bounce or this recovery process. As long as this recovery continues, we can say that it will eventually reach to the bright side and continue towards that. In that case, we can say the trend has reversed, right? So it's like a U-turn, you can imagine. So when you're taking a U-turn, imagine you're taking U-turn, but sometimes you go tangent and continue in that almost same direction. But in a positive scenario, you complete the U-turn and then change the direction. So imagine that this is more like a U-turn. The U-turn hasn't been complete. However, when the U-turn is being taken place, you can start with something, so you can start taking advantage, because if the U-turn completes, yeah, you will be part of the next run on the upside, right? So many people don't recognize that there is a U-turn going on, and they keep thinking that there is new low coming up. Okay, thinking is not a problem, but acting is another thing. And that's where the key levels play important roles, that unless the key levels are broken, we cannot say that there is a new low. So assumptions are the number one killer. Expectations are number one killer. So these things, emotions is number one killer. I mean, all these are top killers, I would say, one and the same thing. They play, it's about mind. So mind has no space, or doesn't need to be. It's all about planning. Plan and execute the plan, right? So it's very important that I convey all these points. So some of you know this very well, but it's always good to repeat certain things and make sure we carry on. So this is educational part, because as I said, social media is just looking for, is it bottom? Is it bottom? It's not a magical thing or magical day or magical price where you can say, oh, this is the bottom. It's a process. Okay, like I often say that if you fall sick, you cannot say on what day you will start going to the gym or start jogging or running. You cannot say, I mean, you cannot predict that. Of course, if you have cough and cold, but that's not a bearish market. Bearish means this is like a bedridden situation, like you are in hospital kind of a situation, and there it's a touch and go kind of situation. And from there you are recovering. And the recovery process takes time, right? So giving that analogy, I would say it's like we were in a ICU somewhere here, and then we can say now this is recovery, and now we are home. But like we are in a some diet, and we cannot say we can start. We are in a position to start run, jogging, or gymming and all. I mean, so we are not fully healthy yet. So that's how. So there are different ways you can explain or express the process. I hope this makes sense, because so it's not about um, you know dark to white or bear to bull. It's not an on-off switch. It's like a dimmer switch. And so this is transition, and transition has to be understood. Now it has made amazing move. Now I'm talking about resistance. Now I'm talking about resistance. It doesn't mean that the move is done. It simply means that it is tired, right? I mean, even the recovery process has a cycle. So recovery, if you break down further, right, this recovery wave also would go through cycle. So this is amazing upside move. So it has to consolidate. It has to gather further energy, more energy, and then it should decide what to do. And if we talk about bullish case, of course, then it will consolidate in this region. Maybe I should widen the region because of the pattern that I'm seeing. And that could annoy a lot of people, because this could go deeper, and you won't believe it could go all the way here. So this is, I'm going to keep this drawing. And this whole entire thing is resistance zone, whether you like it or not. Okay. If it breaks about this one, wonderful. That means it's on steroid, right? But this one of the patterns that I'm seeing indicating that it could come down and consolidate here. And the consolidation can be 1 week, 2 week long. And that could really frustrate. If that happens, that could really frustrate people, unless the person is made aware. Because think about it, everybody was looking for new low somewhere else. And this move, most of the people missed because they were not able to believe themselves that this is really happening. Because every day when it made move on the upside, people would be thinking, hey, this is not real, this is unreal. I mean, it will go down anytime soon, and so on. And by that time, it reached here so fast. And they have no time. Now they have FOMO. They're FOMO because it made a huge move. 20K is a psychological level, and it broke about 20K, right? So definitely people would be a lot of in FOMO, and they would have entered in a big time, I think. And when it goes down, just imagine what the situation if they're not made aware. But here, you guys know what I'm highlighting here. And as I said, the trading has to be simple, and you don't have to commit yourself to one particular scenario. Each scenario has invalidation point. Means if you think about a pattern, then there is always a condition which will invalidate the pattern. Okay, so when someone talk about the pattern, always ask, okay, what condition or level would invalidate the pattern? Because there is always one. So in this case, it's very simple. If it makes new high, BTC makes new high, right? And decent move, like close above high, daily close above the recent high, then we can say that it wants to continue, and maybe the checkpoint comes around 22K to 23K. So again, so hypothetically, if we say that if breaks above, and then again there will be a checkpoint around 22K, 23K, right? And the same scenario could happen where it could retrace a couple of $1,000 downside and then consolidate and move up. So at this moment, the consolidation could or retracement could happen at this level or at a 22K, 23K level. So right now, we can simply say, I mean, I'm taking a stand where I'm saying that the correction is happening in next few days, and it could go up to next 2 weeks. And then of course I'll highlight when there is any major risk. So scenario point of view, if I fast forward, then let's say I would depict something like this, zigzag. Yeah, something like this. Now, it's not about the shape is not important. It's about trajectory. Okay, and in this one, each point, I mean, it could bounce from any of this level, and if it bounces, then I'll highlight, because we'll be in touch anyway, so you don't have to worry that, okay, when you will know that when it is going to bounce, right? So at this moment, I'm emphasizing on a potential correction, right? And once it starts correcting, and then if I see end of correction, I'll highlight, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay. Now, so this is one probable scenario. Now, of course, if you extend this scenario and say this could be the end of the bounce, because unless the bounce is not able to reach to the required level, it is called dead cat bounce. Means when the cat dies, it doesn't look like it died. It doesn't die in a straight way. It bounces it as if it's and actually bounces, not literally bounces, but it comes to life, I mean, consciousness, and then you feel that it's all right, but it's not. So that the expression came from that behavior, cat's behavior, that it's called dead cat bounce. That cat is really dying, but you feel that it's actually all right in between, uh, but in reality, it's dying. So that's why some bounces are like dead cat bounces. Those are bounce. You feel like as if the bear trend is over, but it's not, unless it reaches certain height. So that's the expression. Right. So this is a dead cat bounce range, we call, and but doesn't mean it's a negative thing. It's all positive so far. And I'll highlight if this bounce is about to get killed, die. So you don't have to worry on that part as well. Right. So I cannot advise you, but I think you got a message, what I mean, right? And as I said, this alternative scenario is if it goes about the recent high and closes, then we'll figure it out. Then I'll have some checkpoints somewhere here, which I may have to tune a bit, these levels, which I'll do. I'm not in a hurry to do so at this moment. But if it breaks above, I'll immediately do and let you know. That's not a point. That's not a concern. So maybe these higher levels need some tuning. Okay. And yeah, if I think we can zoom out a bit. So look, it's fantastic. Yeah, it looks fantastic at this moment. One simple way to see this trend line is broken, right? Broken above, so this is good. But trend line is always tricky. Yeah, trend line is always tricky. But trend line is simple guide. See, this is still below this trend line. So this is way below this trend line. Okay. If you measure the overall. So you can imagine that it has long way to go. Right. So far so good, but it has long way to go. And again, trend line is not accurate. I have my measurements. Those are more accurate, which anyway you will be. So these levels at this moment I'm not touching, but I'll update them later on. Okay. So there's no need to. I saw some sad faces when I mentioned that on a channel. Again, when I see that, that means there is some element of emotion. I mean, I'm not in a business to kill emotion, but it would be amazing if you are able to kill the emotion. Yeah, because that is the number one enemy. I don't know. somehow you will understand and learn. There's no other way. Okay, so this is it. So right now, it is when I say correction, the correction could take many days, as I said, if it has to happen, and it will take time, and you have to be patient. So the pattern could be, in that case, could be like this. So it may start a big move later on. So I'll keep it for now. So when I draw this, it doesn't mean come all the way. It also mean it. This could be this is the very pretty low level. Um, it could be this much. It could be this much. Right? So the design is important here. The direction is important here, and I'll update. So that's for now. I'll just keep this at the lowest boundary. Right. And of course, if it goes up, then it we can expect it to react somewhere higher, 23, 24K. So that's it. I would say pretty. Right now, I think I don't think we need to think beyond in terms of BTC. And as you can see, I'm not even talking about 10K. I'm not even talking about 100K. Yeah, our focus is the health of the recovery. If the recovery continues, that's what we want. Because if recovery continues, we know eventually it will go into 6-digit number. It doesn't matter whether it's 100K, 200K, or 1 million. It doesn't matter. What matters is we should be able to identify the weakness, like what we did in November, December month last year. Remember? Not last year, last year now. So yeah, in 2021 we I mean detected, and then whole market fall apart from January after a month. So that kind of a thing. So many people again talk about targets. Why do you need targets? I mean, yeah, of course you can calculate some targets, but that is not important because each and every one could come up with different target. You know that if you ask 10 different TA, no, not everyone is going to give you the same number. What it means that there are so many resistance we can talk about and calculate actually, and those are right and valid. What is important, the most important thing is to say what resistance is where it is showing weakness and forming a top. That is the most important thing. Like what we called out near this support, we can say we said that this is where it exhausted. So whether it's falling, it could exhaust, or while rising, it could exhaust. So that's the sign we are TA has to pick up. So support can be endless support, right? If 15K is broken, then there will be 13K, there will be 10K, there will be 6K, 5K. There's no end to it. Yeah. And similarly, above, you can go up to whatever number you wish to. And those levels would be valid. But the real challenge is to say this is where it is going to react sharply, or major resistance or major support. That's where the money, so to speak. Okay. And that's my focus and goal, right? So you will get a resistance, so you don't have to worry about resistance level on the higher side. You will get it. That's not the point, or challenge, right? So first and foremost thing is whatever we are seeing here, it must continue on the upside with some correction in between, which is part of the game, right? But the direction should be upwards. If that continues, we're good. And eventually we'll grow, right? Time, you should not target time because nobody knows it. Again, some people try to time it. That's also wrong thing. Wrong means inaccurate thing. It's not doable practically. How someone can time it? I mean, it's not possible because things are not in your hand. You can time when to go out for walk. You can time when to eat because it's you some you're planning because it's in your hand. But imagine If something is not in your hand, how can you time it? So not timing is not required. Yeah, it's not important. Okay, because it's not doable. It's important or requirement, but it's not doable. We can set a trajectory, but not necessarily that that will go in that trajectory. One correction can change the trajectory and delay the process. So effort, that kind of effort is futile in my opinion. Okay, so this is Bitcoin. We can have a quick look at Bitcoin in a higher time frame as well. We are looking at so let's look at weekly, right? So remember this one I gave last time, nothing changed. 3 boxes I had added, and look at this, perfect, right? Beautiful. Now here it will play, spend time. If you look at the big picture, it may go sideways like this, or correct and sideways like this, and then shoot up like this. It may take few weeks, maybe in worst case scenario. It depends. Or it may do all go up like this, and then sideways, and then go up. So that's something nobody can predict, to be honest. One can think about scenarios, but that's impossible to know. And that's not required as well. What is important is it doesn't make new low and continue going up, so slow and steady manner. I mean, steady manner, not slow necessarily. Faster the better, but it's not something we can estimate. Right. We can zoom out even more and see the monthly candle looks beautiful. So let's look at without the drawing. Yeah. So you can see this is low, another low, and this is still coming out. Yeah, coming out. The whole entire cluster, if you look at this cluster, we haven't broken this. Okay. So from a monthly point of view, I'd like to see 25K plus from a candles structure point of view. Okay. There are different methods. Purely from candle structure point of view, I would like to see monthly closing about 25K, 25 plus. Then that will give us a good platform. Okay. So this is more, yeah, so this is good bounce, no doubt about it. Healthy, strong January monthly candle. Amazing, right? Monthly looks good. And also remember, it was something I can remove. So this line was simple line. It's, yeah. So this view is important. This view has nothing, but it's indicating that how critical this level is. Because if this is broken, we have we are in trouble in our, right? If this is broken, this is like a dam, like a floodgate. So at this moment, we don't have to worry. Nobody on this group will be surprised. Okay, that I can tell you. I cannot promise more than that. There won't be. We cannot talk. I mean, we cannot control the direction and move and all that, but there won't be surprise. You would at least know what is likely to happen next. So, so if it is going to make new low, this group will know. Okay. What else? I mean, life is good. Let's move into our alts coin, starting with EVAX in alphabetical order. Okay. As usual, I think we'll focus on key levels and strength. So now this is approaching the orange level. Good, looking good. DOT 12% up, broken prior support. Remember, I mentioned you that I don't want to give lower support unless you ask for it. Otherwise, because there's no limit to it. So that's why I didn't give support for some of the coins. Anyway, so now prior supports were resistance and those are broken by dot. So again, these are active supports, right? So you have this video recording, so you can always refer it. So these are active supports. KCS perfect move. I mentioned that there's rumor, and that's why KCS is beaten up. And look at this move now. Okay. So you know what I'm saying, that this was a strong coin and it will show the strength. BNB also, and this was in support zone and now looking good, approaching this level. So I think these were old levels, but you remember them. There were perfect hit R18. Look at that. Perfect. Let's keep it for now. Keep them on, we can change it later. Okay, EGLV is trying to break above the prior support, which is now resistance, which is good news. This is the next resistance, and then this. We had called out all this orange level. Remember, this was a rejection point right on this day that all of them went down. Matic, look at the pattern, beautiful. Yeah, it's shaping up nicely. What else? Nothing to be explained, right? I mean, this is the next level. This is the next to next level. Awesome. ETH approaching the orange. Nice, nice bounce of this yellow line. Okay. Agent is in good mood, 20% up. So this is where it should react. This is heavy resistance zone between 3.72 and 4.51. Yeah, if it is able to break above this one, then it will continue flying on the higher end. Looking awesome. This moves a lot when it moves. That's for sure. It doesn't believe in 5-10% move. FTM is look at that. Is really getting strong. But yeah, this trend that you're seeing, it totally depends on what VTC does next. So whatever I said, you know it. So if VTC starts going down, whatever you see, they'll start going down too. Okay. But no need to assume things. You have to see that happen. So this is broken, nice. FTM. LINK link over here. Let's remove this. Yeah. So this is a resistance. So next one is this. Atom, nice bounce out the support, broken the prior support as well. So again, you can expect it to continue. Looking good. CRO, look at that, perfect, perfect support. Nice, and now it's here. So it's preparing to break above, and then this is the next level that you see on the screen. 0.0986. Doge is not as strong as it used to be, but not bad. Okay, it bounced off this support and now trying to recover. That's what I would say. Yeah, so not bad at all. Actually, something like this. Flux. Okay, we can remove this now. Let's finish this one. So this is nice bounce. Okay, not bad. So we know it. Okay, it has hit this support, which is resistance, right? It hit perfect bounce of this support. All this amazing move. But remember, this is heavy resistance zone, very heavy. 24 up to 29 is X. So we'll have to see that this bounce was a natural bounce, naturally occurred bounce. Naturally means T a point of view because this was it fell so much, so it always bounces and touches a resistance and then decides what to do. If it is able to break above, then I think we can say that it's one. So this ultimately 38 plus will be amazing. This is still this is where we have to continue watching. What a move. And I had highlighted that when it was around $9 a number of times. Right, so and I explained why. Okay. Sand is also looking good. Touch this prior support, which is resistance, perfect. So now this support is to be tracked. Super, so good. Filecoin also getting some momentum. So it has broken, maybe I can draw this. It has broken this downtrend line. Trend line is just for reference, maybe. But yeah, approaching the white resistance here, which was a support earlier. Not bad. Right. So I think I didn't go by alphabetical order, I know, but it's okay. Maybe when you watch a video, it's not easy. I should have done that. I forgot to sort. Okay, look at this one. Beautiful. You love it, right? Love it. I don't have to explain it. But this is support from M2 point of view, which I saw yesterday. It's so interesting. 102 is a support. Yeah, something interesting. Next week we'll see how it does. Okay. So I think I should mm, I should add this as support. M2 indicator. Okay, you see, it's 102.24. So around 102, we can say. So why it turned red? Because it's slightly below 102.248. That's why. So it's on edge. Okay, it's on edge. So it's definitely going down, but maybe next week should confirm it. You can say this is fractionally down. That's why we had to watch it. But yeah, it's good news. Treasury is also weakening. It's weakening. It hasn't broken a trend, and it could make a scenario point of view. It could recover from here and really surprise the market in a big way, to be honest. Yeah, so at this moment, this is all support noise. I don't touch it. Now, for now, this is support. Yeah, if it breaks below, then of course it will go down like that. So still, it has a lot of room before we say that it's dead. It's not dead yet. Not yet. But yeah, weakening for sure. This is weakness for sure, which is good news. It's we need to see how it behaves. This looks like a very weak pattern. This is I'll say dotted line. dotted line means right now I would say lesser probability. We can say this is higher probability. But yeah, if it breaks above this level 3.9 or something, or ideally this one, let's say 3.9, then this scenario won't happen. And sometimes it tricks you. Like you see the this one went below, little lower than this one. So it happens sometimes, and we have to readjust. That's what happens with patterns. Patterns are guides, not like it's not it's the pattern related. So what I added is a pattern related level. So sometimes you have to adjust a little bit, like here or there, like this. Like this is a prime example. Now you think it is broken, it's not. Then so you have to correct it. Okay. So I think these are two important data points that I covered. So they are still at a boundary. So we have to see how they behave. So we should give more 1 or 2 more weeks in the month of January, and then we'll have more clarity. And I think I see BTC dipping a bit. Let's have a quick look before we close the call at a low time frame. Yeah, some resistance here. We can see that this is a good attempt, but fail. Okay. So it is giving enough time. It's not that it's just crashing like a landslide. It's giving enough time, and you will see the alts would be reflect the change as well. Okay, so preserve your gain and without panicking. Okay, and ask me if you have any question. I'm here. I'm stopping the recording and open for any question. Okay, I hope you got it. So the summary is BTC is going through a recovery process, and we'll keep an eye. At this moment, we don't have to assume it's going to make new low because it's far away from the risk level. But this is still a dead cat bounce boundary, or not where we can say it has reversed. Okay, but so far so good. Okay.